Okay. So I've been working on my portfolio, but it still looks like a junkyard. So I'm not going to show it to you because it's not ready. But I made a prototype that I've been doing. And so this is what it looks like. You scroll down. There is the search for a book page. Here is where teachers and students can write blog posts. You can comment, share, and save. And the students one would look identical, but I didn't want to make two that looked the same because that takes way too much time. And then teachers and students also wanted a way to see articles that were related to teaching and learning. So here is an article page that was based off of the landing page. And that is pretty much it.
Awesome. Good job. Yeah, it looks great. And I like what you did with the big picture and all that. I made Lauren a thread in the channel because if everyone wants to go ahead and say what you like or love about the progress she's accomplished this week, that'd be great. And then in a couple minutes, we'll be moving on with Landon.
Thank you.
Of course. Awesome. And let's start, or let's continue with Landon.
Okay, I'm not gonna turn my camera on because I'm kind of sick today. But this is what I've been working on. I didn't really want to show off my portfolio because it's lame, and you've all seen it like a bunch, and I'm still working on it. But so this is the site I showed like, I don't know, like 2 weeks ago or something. And so it's like a side project I'm working on for somebody. It's just like a kind of a venture capital investing group. And so I really liked a lot of your comments from 2 weeks ago, and I implemented them. So basically, it's like a really simple layout, just telling what the company does and um, kind of just information about them, I guess. So that's pretty much it. I have like 3 iterations. I'm just working with the colors a little bit. I think probably this one's my favorite, this third one. So maybe I don't really need like a bunch of feedback, but if you wanted to say something, if you want to say which one of these was your favorite. These are like 1, 2, or 3. This one's kind of whack, but I'm trying to like stick with a similar color throughout the middle. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been working on just last night and this morning, because I've been working on my portfolio, but I don't really want to show it off. Everyone's seen it. So yeah.
Hey, Landon.
Yeah, what's up?
I jumped in late. Do you mind just scrolling down so I can see the full screen?
Yeah, like I'm just scrolling on one of them. Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
I don't know which part you want to be on.
Cool. Thanks.
Awesome. And let me start you a thread, Landon. Oh, sorry. Awesome. And if everyone wants to finish up their last thoughts, we'll be moving on with Anna Rosa. And whenever you're ready.
Hi, everyone. I'm not in pajamas anymore, so that's good. So this, I have been I worked on this, not this week, but the previous week, but I didn't have the chance to show it to you. So this is my build week. And this is the project that I did in my build week. And what I did was I did a kind of reshape because I already like had a presentation that we presented to developers. I don't know if you all remember that we created and we did one presentation and we explained to the developers what the project was about, what we work on and stuff like that. So I kind of redid all of that and recreated everything. Not all everything, but some of the stuff I reviewed like what I wrote down. And so this project is about fitness instructor and how they wanted a solution that will help them to not interact with the clients or trainees a lot too, because they didn't want like to ask for the payment or if they were delayed of the payment and stuff like that. So they wanted that, and they also wanted like a platform that they can upload their like classes and put it like in a calendar, and clients can subscribe to the classes and they could monitor their trainees progress. So I just created like a new slide, a new presentation, sorry, that it will explain like, well, this was the ideal cycle that I wanted to follow, but then the actual cycle was because of I did this, and then I had to go back and I will explain what kind of the things that I went to, and then I will say like, okay, discovery, what I did on discovery, and then the point of view that I discovered on the discovery part, and side of the clients and the trainers, and then I will say the define after I notice and I review the path of the problems. I kind of started doing the persona, the UMLs, I did the user flow, and I kind of just like I don't want to put all of the things that I did on the slides, but I thought that it was worth mentioning what I did. So I just put it on in bullet points, a couple of things that I did on that phase on the discovery. And I just put out something that I thought it was relevant to mention, that the main difference of this on the app was the authority, that it was clients will have just read and update, and the instructor will have like the whole crew create, read, update, and delete. But basically it will be the same app. It will change of the authority. And then on ED8, I did a workshop, I did a brainstorm session. I probably had to change that, just have workshops instead of brainstorming sections. And I did sketches and I did low fidelity, and I just put like the workshop that we had. I put like all the ideas. The Lauren helped a lot, I remember. And the dog boarding. And then I just put some of the sketches that I did. And then I explained like what I said at the beginning, why I did the reverse engineering, why I had to go back on the design process, and the defining the discovery. I had to go back and just reshape some stuff, so I will explain that. And then what I started creating the low fidelity design, and then the prototyping, the high fidelities, and the user testing. And I will explain some of the things that what I did, the things that I did here. And one of the main things that the user was, or the trainers wanted, it was just the punch pass. And then, for example, on the user testing, I remember that I had a lot of compliments on the this is one of Lauren's idea. I remember that she said that she had like a Fitbit and she had like charms. And then on the user feedback, I mean, I'm kind of involved on that. That world of fitness and instructors and all of that. So I thought like, charms. I didn't thought about that. Why charms? But that sounds cute. So I will put it down. And then when I added, and when I did the user testing, as a result, everybody loved the charms. I don't know if because they are super cute and I found it, and they were like, oh my God, I love the charms. And it was really amazing to see that on the user testing, because I didn't thought of that. And I thought that I knew what to expect on this app. So I thought that it was worth to mention on the user feedback. I got that, and I wasn't expecting that. And then I just put like the takeaways. and like how that was impressive, like you think in another perspective that, and receive like feedback from everybody and kind of have a different view of that and never assume, you know, what the user wants. That was like the main feedback or like takeaways that I had on this project. So that's what I work on, and I wanted to show you guys to see what you guys think. And yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Anna Rosa. Honestly, like those presentations look so nice. Like when like when you're in an interview and they're like, "What is your design process?" They're like, "Let me show you." You pull up a fire presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job. I started a thread for you if everyone wants to make a few comments. And then in 2 minutes, we'll be moving on with Nathan.
I know, but I don't have mockups. That's the thing, Sig. I don't know what to do. Like in some of the projects, I don't have a lot of mockups. I usually just do it like low fidelity, or if I do mockups, I do it in freehand. I used to do a lot of like drawing the mockups on my notebook, but now I don't do it anymore after I discovered freehand, and it's just so easy to draw rectangles. They are just perfect rectangles. I don't have to like to shape that. So I don't know, like what should I do in that case? I don't know if anybody has idea that if I don't have a lot of mockups to show, what else could I show? Well, I'm talking about mockups, you know, like I just did the Crazy 8, so I thought that was a good idea to put.
Yeah, I meant like high fidelity mockups actually.
Oh, okay. Thank you for clarifying that. That's a good idea, yeah. Okay, like final designs.
Yeah, and I do the same thing where I don't have like those early like wireframes and stuff, and I honestly just go back and do them.
that, that but it would like, I don't know. I have thought about that, but also it's like, should I just sketch what I already have? Like I have like the high fidelity, they just like sketches, okay. Like that. You usually do that?
Think of it as another creative exercise of further refining your designs and exploring the space.
Okay, I'll try to do that. So when you say like you would like to see more mock-ups or final designs, you mean like having more screens where I explain some of the thing what's going on?
Yeah, just like when people have like 5 devices next to each other and each one has like a mock-up of a different screen or part of the app.
Okay. I'll try to work on a screen with a lot of mock-ups. The thing is that I didn't want to put something that I didn't want to say. Like when I'm explaining, I wanted like the screens that I put is, I thought that it was something significant about them, and I I will talk about the screen and stuff like that. So I didn't want to like extend the presentation a lot and have like, okay, in this screen I did this, but it maybe just have before the takeaways, just like a full screen with like a different screens and mock-ups without me explaining each of them, just like having like a here like the all the screens or most of the screens, kind of like that. I'm thinking out loud.
Awesome. Yeah, that was great, Anna Rosa. Thank you. And next is Nathan. And Nathan dropped a link in the thread if everyone wants to click on and see what's going on. But yeah, Nathan, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so the link is to the front thing of my portfolio. I did not connect and get built out the about section in my resume. But I was busy getting my marriage license today because I'm getting married in 2 weeks. But yay, woo, adulthood, healthcare through my lovely fiance. So yeah, so it's basically spent the week building out the Webflow thing and how I wanted it. Let's share. So I came into possession of a very large font book, and through means that might not be legal, but it's okay. So I'm using Whitney for like everything. Whitney is an awesome font from Frere Jones Foundry, and I'm a big fan of it. So I can turn off. So some people are torn on the blue. I used to have a little bit more of an obnoxious red that I was a fan of, but I think it was a little too intense. But now I feel like the color and kind of boring and like masculine and dull. The color, yeah. So I don't know how I feel about the blue, but I do like how it plays with the black and the white, and I really like that element. And then this, I'm a big fan of having that kind of float in between the two things. And this chocolate chip cookie thing, it'll all look better. Like spacing and exact content is going to get refined, but the bones of it is where it is. So I'm not kidding. I can make the best chocolate chip cookie in the world. I've been like a house husband for the past 3 years, so I've really refined my craft. And
I don't believe it till I try.
I will post some photos in the Slack channel. They look amazing. So actually, there is a part of me that like I make such good cookies. I might just put them in very elegant packaging and mail them to places that I want to apply to, and then just even be like have like the cover letter in there, and then just be like, oh, by the way, if you want the recipe for the cookies, check out my portfolio. I think that might work. We'll see how that happens. But so yeah, so I'm going to have like the 3 little sections here for the 3 case studies. And then what I'm going to do is, you know, for the iPhone one for squad poles, that'll just be a mock-up of the frame. But I like this idea of like having some components like stacked up on each other, just like a quick little hitter. And then you would read the case study, all that good stuff. Yeah, it should be fairly responsive. Not everything is perfect yet, but that was kind of what I was working on, was getting the bones built out for responsiveness. And now I feel pretty good. So next week, I'll finish writing out the about me and getting my resume so it's downloadable and everything. But next week, I'll finish writing out at least 2 case studies and putting them on there. And then I'll have a portfolio that I think is pretty good. But I'd like some feedback. Colors are interesting. I definitely would love some guidance.
Honestly, I really like your colors. I think they're not overwhelming, and it makes everything really easy to read. Like the whole entire, like even just this like front page where it's like, hello, my name's Nathan, and then the human-centered design, developer friendly, and all that stuff. I love that section just because it just shows off your strengths. But yeah, says that. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, Nathan, I would like to say that I also like it, and I feel very envious of your portfolio. I really like the color. That's one of the colors that I kind of choose on mine, but I didn't like. I love your combination of black with like white. That's great. I have yellow.
So I would love to say that I thought of that myself, but I totally ripped it off from the Frere Jones website with their actual, like. So I had acquired the font book, and then I went to go check out the font site just to see like how they suggested use cases and different stuff. And I really liked how they displayed. They have a whole different gradients of colors. I'll post the link, but I totally like stole the color palette because I was like, wow, that color looks great on that. So
I mean, if you like something, I don't see the problem. I'm just taking over that. Yeah, I really like the colors. I think they really represent you. Very calm, very relaxing, and I think I get that vibe from you, like very chill and
cool.
relaxed.
Webflow is great, people. I'm all about it. So.
Nathan, I think it's interesting how colors are so subjective in a lot of ways, because I don't like the blue, but I could see other people loving it. And it's like, there's nothing wrong. Like all the colors like match really well and same feeling. And it's just interesting. Like very.
Yeah, I posted the link to the Whitney thing where I pulled the colors from. But what's really interesting, so I'm at my parents' house and I'm using their computer, and it's incredible how different it all looks, because their screen, like whatever their temperature on their screen is very kind of like yellowy. And so I was like, I pulled up my portfolio. I was like, oh God, is this why people hate it? It's like, this looks terrible.
I really like how they have like two slightly different blues next to each other. One's a little cooler, one's a little lighter. I think that really plays well.
Yeah, I tried to shoehorn that in there. I might still do it.
And it's true, like it is one of those colors like white and black look equally as good. Like there isn't one that feels a little better.
Awesome. Yeah. Let's finish up our comments and then we'll be moving on with, let's see. Where is it? Zapdio.
I don't think he's in here.
Oh, wonderful. Is Olu in here? No, Olu's not in here. Then it's Zeke. It looks like maybe everyone's commented. So yeah, whenever you're ready.
Realized I'm muted. I didn't do that much portfolio stuff, but I worked on some projects. I spent a lot of the week like applying to jobs. I did like 2 interviews, so I didn't do as much design as I would like, but I started this late last week and I think I showed it. But I like met with the client and like did another iteration of this like landing page and try to tweak it. So just have some iPhone mock-ups. I'm actually going to take out 2 of these, and then one of them I'm going to have a different mock-up, and I'm going to add some more like illustrations. So I'm going to play with that. I need to add icons for the features, but it'll basically be all these features, and then there'll be like a learn more, and then there'll be more text on another page, but I didn't want it to be too text heavy. I wanted to keep kind of this light, like airy sort of feeling, like white space type thing. And then I'm working on the get started page. This isn't all, I'm figuring out how to cut down. Right now there's like 10 steps. I'm going to cut it down to like 3 or 4. And then I'm trying to figure out how to make this a little more interesting. I might play with just like font weights and do it that way. But yeah, and then there's like a pricing page. The pricing's changed, so I have to like make some tiers. And then this I worked on today, but it's not done, but it's going to be a like sign up page. Trying to play around with like blobs on the side, because before I didn't have anything, but I didn't want to make the forms weirdly long. Like this is already too weirdly long. So I'm still figuring that out. I think the blobs help somewhat, but that's that. And that's about as interesting as I could figure out for a janitorial management system. And then ITEA is this is an app I'm building for Illinois Trucking Enforcement Association, it's called. And it's just a really boring, sorry, I'll take it out prototype mode. It's just a really boring kind of prototype. It's going to be like a document section that they can scroll through because all their resources will be there. And then like a calculator section. So they'll have like weight fines, bridge safety. It's like real kind of technical, but they'll be able to calculate that. An account section, which will redirect them to like a website because their accounts through another service. And then they'll have, there's all these flow charts on converting into like an app so they can click yes or no and then figure out like what the fine is, or if they have to do like a test. So that's the other thing I worked on. And then briefly worked on the case study, but not much. So that's where I'm at.
Awesome. Thank you, Zeke. I started a thread for you in the channel. So if everyone wants to make some comments about what you love about Zeke's progress, yeah.
Or what you hate.
What you hate? I hate.
Love or hate? I want to know.
Hate how it makes.
I hate everything. So. I'm kidding. You
Oh.
did such a good job. You are very good, Sig. I hope you know.
Thank you. Very kind.
It's not kind, I'm telling the truth.
Also, Nathan, those cookies look insane with the big chocolate chips too. There's like something about that. Are
Yeah,
they?
going to wafers like they talk about in the recipe, but going to baking wafers is the way to go. It like instantly steps it up.
And are they like? How soft versus crunchy are they?
You get the best of both worlds, right? So the butter content is so like high because it's a lot of browned butter in there that the middle stays very soft, but then you got like that perfect ring. Like you can see on the outside, it's got like the perfect amount of browning. It's worth crunchy.
Okay.
They gotta give you a job, right? They
Yeah.
gotta give you a job.
Okay. Yeah, they should.
Nathan, do you want to share your recipe in the thread as well?
You can go to the portfolio and click the link and get it.
That's not the same. Like a recruiter.
Like you have good usability tests right here. Like the whole group wants the cookie recipe, so you should experiment with your theory.
Nathan, I will be arriving to Minneapolis like at 10:30. Can I just stop by and have one badge?
They already got eaten up. So I had my fiance bring them to work just so that like I was anxiously texting her all day. I was like, any feedback? Any coworkers say anything? And they loved it.
Who doesn't love chocolate chip cookies? Like, I don't know who doesn't love it.
I'll post a YouTube video. Bon Appetit, like Zeke had talked about it, I think like the website is gorgeous, but their YouTube channel is incredible and how they do their videos and their whole like design aesthetic. But they posted a video where Rick Martinez, he's the guy who made the recipe. He cooks it up and it's great. Rick's my favorite.
Yay.
Awesome. Everybody finish up your final thoughts, and then we'll be moving on with. I need to like memorize this list. I believe it's Maya. Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Cool. So this week was, I kind of felt like it was a little bit all over the place, because like over the weekend I flew back to Austin, and then we went to yesterday. So I'm gonna like work my way backwards. But yesterday, at the Worldwide Usability Conference, and we went to the San Antonio one, and it was just kind of cool because like we got to do like a different version of Crazy Eights. I don't know if you can see it right here, but they made us do Crazy Eights for like a case, and instead of like doing dot voting, they're doing like a really fast one, and so to like teach different organizations like how you can implement UX process. And so instead, like you pick your favorite one and you like cut it out and then you like post it later. And then, so it was just like really cool. I wonder if I had the other picture. Is it this one? But they like did they did like typical things like that you would like do like a sprint or whatever. There's like this group called Firecat Studio was one of the presenters, and they're like a design firm. And it was just really cool because they were talking about like, I mean, obviously usability and stuff, but they had like all these posters like that where it showed like different able people in like what like helps designing for them, and like keeping those users in mind. And so they had all these signs that like focused on different like features of like how it can help or not help. So that was really cool to learn just because I like that kind of stuff a lot. And then, yeah, they did this cool, I don't know if I can find it.
Maybe you can find it on the link on the Google.
Oh, here we go. So like we did like an impromptu like usability test. And so like we like these two tables, like we were in this group and then there's like another group here. And then it was just really cool because like you only had, you had like these people that were from like all these different companies. And so like some of these people weren't even designers and they like worked for the city. And so they were trying to implement like UX ideas like in the city. And then so they're just like saying like, yeah, like there's Google design process and stuff, but like take what you can and like do it in more bite-sized pieces. And so like it was just fun to like learn how other people learn and like adjust according to like company cultures and stuff. And then they had a cool way of doing like sorting, which I can't find the picture of right now, but like for like affinity mapping and sorting, like we did an exercise where you like write out like your normal affinity maps, like card sorting, but then instead you have like predetermined categories called like rose, bud, and thorn. And so then like you sort which ones you think those fall under and you focus on the opportunities instead. And so like instead of just saying this is the problem, like you start with like low hanging fruit essentially and say like, okay, like what are my, like what's my bud, like what it has like the opportunity to like be improved on, and like what, like how is it feasible that we can actually work on it, as opposed to like just being like here's the most extreme problem. And so it was just cool because like we got to rotate groups and like meet different people and like learn even how you can adapt. So those were cool. I also earlier in the week like started I like went back and like looked at this hackathon that I went to back in September, and it was like right in the middle of labs and it was really exhausting, but I was glad that I went. So I just like gathered all the stuff that we did and just like tried to like learn how to like communicate it, because it was like hosted by Women Who Code, and it was like the event was called Diversity Hackathon, but then there was like a bunch of Lambda people there. So it was just a really unique experience to like meet other Lambda people and work with other Lambda people. And so I've just been like working on that some, and like how we like went back and forth and just make it sound a little bit more conversational. and then just like one of like the front end developer like had a hard time understanding like why you wouldn't put like certain shapes up top. So like at first like he was like really adamant like that the bigger shapes should like sit at the top, and then like so I had to like explain to him like how like the human like eye like sees weight and stuff, and like how like color and shapes like do that. And so it was just like trying to find ways to communicate and like show like, hey, like do you see the difference, and like show side by side. And ironically, like before going to this hackathon, like I was struggling to do this with like my labs team too. Like they just had a hard time like visualizing certain things, and so like showing them the different examples of like, look, when you lay it out like this versus A, B, or C, like which one is it easier for you to scan? And so like yeah, so just going through and like kind of laying that out, and then trying to redo a different case study. Like I had all this, but like this case study, the one from Build Week, had like a lot of text, and so I was just going through and fixing that. And then something I did for fun, sort of, but also like to give like myself a constructive break, was like I hadn't posted anything to Dribble before because I'm like, well, I'm like a noob, so I don't want to post anything. So I just did like a color exercise where I like took Dribble's like color palette and just try to play around with it, and then gave myself a time box, and then made like this little picture to post. Because I was feeling a little burnt out. And then, yeah, and then so then I also did like worked on the About Me section. So the original About Me section was just going down in a straight line. And so I was playing around with like breaking it up and like keeping the same images, and then just like breaking up the text and go back and forth. But yeah, and then also earlier from Design Crits, like just fixing those little things and trying to see how I can make it work. But yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Thank you, Mai. And if everyone wants to spend the next couple minutes commenting in the thread. Okay, awesome. So we are essentially all set for this round. Feel free if you want to stay, you can stay. And we'll be starting with like round 2, and like I'll see if we want to start a little bit earlier. But hi. Yeah, great job everyone. And I will see you. Oh, actually, you might see me Monday, so I won't be leaving. So you might see me Monday. But peace for right now.